but I like finding deals, and I use them, and I always justify it by whatever I pay for it. I can probably sell it for $30 less and be okay.
So here we are, a little bit of a smaller group for this next discussion, but what we thought we would do is touch base with each other about some of the little tweaks that we're making with our studio setups, what we have been experimenting with, what are we about to try, what have we tried, what's worked, what's not, and what are we definitely not going to touch. Again, this is an ongoing project. We can do this show like every 5 episodes and we'll have new things to talk about because we're content creators. So let's start with you, Rob, because you were just talking earlier off camera about some of the latest purchases you made. Tell us about them and what was the driving force behind those purchases?
Well, the driving force is that, this is my home office, and due to some circumstances in my life and my business, I'm going to have to go set up an office. And that office is going to be a half hour away from me. So I want to have a certain level of comfort, the same equipment that I have there than I have here. And so I made the investment in a Rode Streamer X. And I'm going to try that. Right now, I've got the Elgato, Cam Link. I've got a Rodecaster Pro, and I wanted to try that particular item in this new situation. So I have just that one thing. I don't need to have multiple cameras. I don't need to have multiple microphones. And I'm going to set up as much as I possibly can something very similar to what I have here. I have an extra Sony 6100. I bought the BenQ light that I use to light myself primarily for most of my calls. And I do this because I'm in telemedicine. A lot of what we do, we're doing especially in medical communications now, since that whatever that thing was earlier a few years ago. Hospitals don't want you to come on site anymore, and they are tickled when you can have a meeting with them on Teams or some other thing. So I do a lot of presentations. I do a lot of discussions with CEOs, COOs, physicians. And so it's important that, when they see me, that I look my best. It kind of drives me, if you're the client, it's fine if you're poorly lit and you're talking into your whatever. But for me, I'm trying to close business, and I want to make sure that I'm presenting myself well, and that I can show, and throw up graphics. I can do whatever I need to do to make my point. And, I'm also filming short segments on training people on certain aspects of telemedicine and telehealth, so that we talk about certain things that I don't have to sit there and retrain somebody over and over and over again, that when it comes time to onboard somebody, either a physician or a new client or somewhere along the lines, they can get links to a series of videos. They can watch them on their own time. And then we can have a follow-up meeting and whatever. And so it's important to me to have kind of the same things that I have here elsewhere. And luckily, I have extra stuff, but some of it's as simple as just making sure that I'm going to get the same monitor that I have here. I'm going to get, I'll have the same lights and the keyboard, whatever. It's the simple things, so that when I sit down, I don't have to overthink, why is my keyboard different here or whatever. So it's the simple things. It is an investment, but in the big picture, I need to be able to have that communication tool at a high end for the people that I'm communicating with.
Totally makes sense. Tell us more about the training videos a little bit, because I've been doing some training videos or developing standard operating procedures that I can, show to somebody that I'm outsourcing certain tasks to. Are you doing anything special with any kind of software or platforms that are doing that? Or are you just filming videos for people to watch?
I'm filming videos and throwing them into Final Cut Pro and doing a little chopping there and keeping it fairly simple. I have some motion graphics for the beginning of things and for the end of things, but my goal is to be able to consistently, and this is very important, especially when you're dealing with medicine, that you're saying the same thing to everybody the same way. And that consistency is very important, but it can boil down to, when I'm training a doctor how to turn on their new workstation, or I need to explain to them why they need to send me their, copies of their licenses and where they've been privileged or whatever else. These things that, I need to have these discussions with, and I need to make sure that they watch these things. So I'm going to be tracking them to make sure that they've watched these things through, a software package. But it's just, it's a matter of being consistent and saying the same thing to a large group of people so that everybody's on the same page. And you don't always do that when you're doing things live. And I mean, I can have a discussion with you, I can have a discussion with them so that they can ask me and I can answer questions. But in reality, there's 80% of what I talk about over and over and over again to different people. And so it's just going to be more productive if I film those things and put them behind a firewall and let them watch them when they need to watch them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The thing I love the most about that story is just how all of the things that you've experimented with as a creator are all coming together with this new enterprise that you have. All the skills that you've built with scripting, with lighting, with how to edit in Final Cut Pro, how to use Ecamm. Like these are all universal skills for all of us. And you're really capitalizing on
I might not be creating for, people on YouTube at a grand level, but the people that I am targeting are going to be very important to my livelihood, and I will make money off of it. So I might only be ultimately communicating to, let's argue, 1,000 people, but they're the 1,000 very important people.
Gotcha.
I always forget about that, about how to making videos to demo. Like I was trying to train my editor to do some stuff in Radar, to do some social posting and things like that. And at the moment I was thinking we needed to have a Zoom call or a Discord voice call so I can show him what's going on. And it completely slipped my mind that I could have just made him a loom and just send him instructions. Because you get a 5-minute loom for free. And all you do is a screen recording. It's very easy.
Right.
And it just, I always put that out of my mind. I always put that out of my mind. Well, the professional ways do it, Ecamm and overlays and all kinds of stuff like that. But I'm saying, if you want to tell somebody how to do something really quick and dirty, a loom is the perfect thing.
Another tool that I've been using is Tango. And it automatically captures, it captures screenshots of the clicks that you're making in a Chrome browser. The free version, at least. If you pay for professional, you can then capture your clicks in other apps. But if you're doing something that is all browser enabled, Chrome browser enabled, you can do an entire, and I've done like 40-step things that involve posting to social media, particularly Rich, that are very nice and explicit. And I think they've turned out really good. And
does that make videos, or because I saw one plugin like that makes a PDF file? Is that what yours does?
You can make a PDF file out of that. Yep. Yeah. Or people can just go to the link and they can pull up the Tango on the interwebs and follow through that. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. Yeah. And then what I do is I take the link. I take the link to the Tango and I put it in the ClickUp task so that it's in the template. So when somebody pulls it up, and if they forget how to do that step, there's the instructions right there. And it just gets repeated every time the task gets created. So there you go. Sorry, Michelle, what were you going to say?
It was a blast from the past. I remember using that in the past, and I might need to go back and revisit that. I love that idea. But you mentioned ClickUp, but I was talking to some folks over the weekend, and sharing some of the things that I do in Trello or whatnot, and so I have certain things built into Trello, and I leave links and stuff in there, but I never really thought to actually leave the link to like a video instruction situation. So that is an excellent idea. But of course, I'd use Ecamm to do that. So
There you go. Well, you're welcome. I'm here to help. But there you go. So, Michelle, tell us about anything that you've been doing in your studio lately. Any little acquisitions? You're always shopping. You're always shopping.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was even shopping today because like Rode just came out with some new wireless microphones that do so much. And it has like, but okay, all right. Let me back up the truck. So, Rode just came out with these new wireless microphones. They're the Rode Wireless Pro, right? And these particular microphones have all kinds, like it has everything. They put everything and the kitchen sink into these where you can wirelessly connect them to your Rodecaster Pro. You can do in-ear monitoring. There's something about something floating, whatever. I didn't really understand all of that. But anyway, I saw the videos and I went ham today. I was like, oh, wow, I want that. I literally just bought the Mi's. They just came out with Mi's. And I just, and I've used them. I really like them. And I found a way to kind of rig it up to my to my Rodecaster, but it was, it wasn't the way I rigged. Well, it was, I found a way to do what I wanted to do. But then I was like, oh my, these are the new and improved. So I can sell the other ones and then get the new ones that have all this goodness in it. But then I started to think to myself, do I really need that? No, Michelle, you don't need it. So anyway, but yeah, I have gas and I love tech. I love having new tech. But what did I do in the studio? I just kind of rearranged some things. I have a pretty awesome studio in that I have a lot of screens. I'm looking at a lot of screens and everything is designated. Like I have stuff on my right side and stuff on my left side. And I really like the way it's set up. And so now I'm like, what if I move the screen over on that side so I can use the other side of my studio? And so I have all these plans. I don't really need to buy anything. I have enough cameras. I have enough monitors. I have enough computers. So I'm just a voyeur looking at all the new stuff that's out. And I pretty much like the way my studio is set up because it's beautiful. I can come in here and at a moment's notice, turn everything on and I know everything is where it needs to be. Everything is set exactly where I need to have it. And I have no friction when it comes to actually coming in here to do content creation. The friction comes when you start tweaking and moving stuff. Because now it's like, oh, wow, well, now I got to fix the angle on this camera or I got to fix the lighting on the other side over there because I don't have my green pop-up lights on that side of the on that side of the studio. So, yeah. Once I set it, which I have, I want to forget it. I don't want to do anything to it. So it's really nice to kind of like watch and see what other people are doing. But you know what? This has been set up for a while and I kind of like it the way it is.
Atta girl. And I really envy that low friction process. And we've talked about this many times. So I idolize all of you that have such a nice, ready to go, locked in sort of setup. But I've been working on it, but I don't want to cut in just yet because I want to hear what Rich has been doing lately with his stuff because you're a good bargain hunter. You're often finding things maybe that have fallen off a truck somewhere and added them into your studio and testing them out. So
actually shouldn't do that because you end up buying stuff you really don't need, but it's a deal. Like I just bought the Rode Wireless Go 2 from somebody in our group and it comes with 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. One of the transmitters doesn't work. And I can't figure out how to make it work. And I haven't had time to troubleshoot it because do I really need it? I didn't really need it. But anyway, it was a deal, so whatever. I've also got 4 ZV-1s. I have 2 that I'm using here on this desk. I have 1 on that desk over there. And I've got 1 in a bag because I have all these big plans that I'm going to go vlogging someday. And I want to have these Rode Wireless Go's in my vlog kit. So it's ready to go. And I never go anywhere and do anything like that because it's 150 degrees outside. But I like finding deals and I use them, and I always justify it by whatever I pay for it. I can probably sell it for $30 less and be okay. But like Rob, I want to set up a studio or a place to record at home because I don't have that. I mean, I've got a desk and stuff, but it's just not set up to be a good looking thing like it is here. Because I do Zoom calls with clients and suppliers and meetings and things like that. And I need to have something more presentable than, something in my spare bedroom that has clothes hanging on the closet and things like that. So I am always looking for stuff to set that up. Over there, I'll probably get a Streamer X or a Duo. Duo just because I can use it more. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. A Duo is more versatile than a Streamer X. But a Streamer X, you don't have to have a cam link. So what do you want to do?
Yeah.
You do this thing, you want to do that thing. So anyway.
Yeah, that's the big attraction there for sure.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So what do you think is the one thing that you really need before you start recording at home? Is there just one thing that you don't have that you have to get?
No, I have
green
everything
screen?
I need. I need room because our house, we are the anti-minimalists. We're not hoarders, but we're close. And I don't really have a good space. I would have to have a garage sale and get rid of my wife because she would leave me if I got rid of any of her stuff. And most of the stuff is hers. So I need to either push stuff out of the way or get rid of it to make a space. But once we had a space, I probably could use a light over there because I don't have any lights. But I've got cameras. I've got all the stuff. I just need the room.
So I have a suggestion. So in this room where I'm sitting,
Murder is illegal. But anyway, keep going.
No. Okay.
And the YouTube takedown notice. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have a suggestion. So in this room, I use every inch of this room as a set. So this is my main set on this side that you guys see all the time. Mm-hmm. I have a set on all four walls as a set, right? Even the closet, I put a director's chair in front of the closet. There's a camera pointed over there. I've got lights and everything all set up. And I'm going to start a new podcast called Straight Out of the Closet. No, I was kidding. But no, actually, as a DIY, no, I'm so serious. It's going to be it's going to be called Straight Out of the Closet because I got that's where all my DIY stuff is. And so I'm going to have that's going to be a show that I'm developing right now. And I actually have episode 1 on my bench right now that I just need to go ahead and shoot. But it's literally pointing to a closet, like literally. You can see the crap in the side, I have the crap organized and there's a lot of green stuff in there. And so, but yeah, I literally just put the chair in front of the closet and lit it. I, tested it out, with the cameras and everything. And, it's literally a chair in front of the doorway of the closet. You could figure out whatever you want with your set design, hoarders and all. Okay, it just depends on what you want to do.
You just got to embrace a different aesthetic, Rich.
I'm just saying.
New aesthetic.
Or pop up a green screen behind it or a blue screen.
Our house is kind of like a path that goes through a bunch of stuff. It's not really like we don't have a wall that has nothing there at all. It's it's not bad. It's fine. It's not set up to have company like that.
Oh. Well, anyway, here's what I used to do back in the day. Okay. Before I had this set, I had a giant piece of green fabric that I put on a pole behind me.
Yeah.
No one knew. One knew.
I've got one of these Elgato roll up on the floor thing. So I've got, because I bought it on Craigslist because somebody wanted to sell it for $100 and it's like a $300 thing. So
okay, then
I've got every tool that you need. Yeah, I just need the.
Right.
Oh no, I just need the room.
There you go.
Anyway,
you have no excuse. You got a green screen. Come on, let's go. Put a chair in front of it and let's go.
All right. I still need a light. I still need lights, but anyway.
So the studio upgrade that Rich needs is a light and the decision.
That's
to go
right.
ahead and change this thing. There you go.
There you go.
Well, that's why you got us, because we'll help you out with that.
What do you need, Keels? What's up with you?
Well, I am going to the UK in, holy smokes, a week from now, less than a week. And I swear this time, I was so bad when I went over in April. Did not take any footage. I was really focused on, it was very much an actual umpire coaching trip. I was doing a lot of actually working with my people and, running a tournament and all that kind of stuff. So it just wasn't conducive to content creation out of that. This is a marketing trip. This is a business marketing trip. And so I decided that I would pick up another set of wireless microphones, because I actually gave the set that I bought to one of my people back in the UK, because he had great need of them. So I just, here you go. And like you, Rich, I found a good deal and I thought, hey, I should go jump on this. So I bought a set of, and I'm going to say this, I call them Hollyfields, and that's wrong. Hollyland Lark 1, I think, wireless mics. And it's the generation before. And I looked at the specs and compared them to, say, the Wireless Go 2s, and they don't have quite the same hertz range. The Wireless Go 2s go down to 50 hertz or something, and these only go to 20. I don't know. I'm not an audio expert, but I tested them out, and you guys, you probably just ignored them, but I did put test audio files. I know Rob listened to them in the server, and I'm like, this is okay. So those are going to be my operating mics when I'm out, because I'm going to be doing a bunch of talks, and I'm going to sit there in the car and it's like Tesla has the steering thing, so I'll be okay. And I'll talk to myself as I'm driving up north to the north of England. So that's something that I bought recently, and I'm looking forward to putting that into use. But something that I just sort of did in my famous rolling mobile changing studio was I actually did make this setup. So this is, people make jokes that I'm in my closet now, because that is a closet behind me with a gray sound blanket behind me. But I made this more permanent, and I gave myself a setup where I can have my camera and my teleprompter and the good audio here, because of how much I do coaching from this space and how much I talk to prospective clients and things like that. And so I just needed to upgrade a couple things. So I have a lighter teleprompter now on that's attached to my iPad. So that is on an Elgato low profile boom arm, and that's attached to my desk. So, but I can take the whole teleprompter and the camera off that boom arm and put it on Rick, who's currently in my closet. And I can roll Rick out to the main room and do my big live streams and the bigger production events. And that's been working out really well. So I've reduced the amount of things that I need to unplug and change around. And it's more like just butterfly clip of the quick release.
Yolandi Claw.
Yeah, that thing. Mm-hmm. That thing. I bought a few of those.
Every camera I have.
Yeah. So just some small touches like that, and a couple extra cables that just stay in place. And then I unplug things and I roll Rick out and off we go. So that's actually, even if it only shaves 5 minutes off, it's reduced the friction for me to get some of the things done. So I'm still mobile and refuse to be in one place, but I'm getting better because you guys are inspiring. There you go. That's what I've learned.
I guess I didn't realize your closet situation was a permanent thing. I thought you were on Rick the whole time, and I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I used to have Rick out in the room, but it really bothered me because,
right. But I thought you were always on Rick.
But he's not
for a while, you were on Rick every time you turned the camera on, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what I thought. So
and it was whether I had Rick here or out there.
Right.
But what I found was I didn't like working in this space because I am such a, I'm not right. And I wanted a cleaner looking space in order to be, thanks Rob, to be more productive and get things done. Cause I just, if I see cables lying around, if things look messy, I get distracted and I want to deal with that right away instead of the very pressing deadline that I have. So this now is a much cleaner space that I can work in day to day. So I don't feel like I'm chasing myself out of the office or wherever Rick is. Rick is in the closet right now. I can wheel him back there and just fold things up, and one of his legs kind of sticks out a little bit, but you can't see it. And
yeah, he's trying to trip you. He's trying to kill you.
Nicely.
He's trying to kill you for putting him away.
Our next podcast is straight out of the closet. I know it.
There you go.
I'm
there you
in
go.
the closet.
I'll be your
You're
first
in the closet.
guest.
And hopefully most of the
first guest.
listeners have realized that Rick is a piece of equipment and not a human being. So yeah.
That would be very awkward. And right now we seg to Never Gonna Give You Up. Anyway. Because Rick rolls. Rick really does roll. All right.
Boo.
Well, thanks for sharing all that. Boo. Come on. That was pretty good. So, I mean, I like this touching base thing so that we know where each other's at, because it's not just about the gear, but, you know, Michelle, we learned that you have a new show in production that I'm going to be the first guest star on.
Awesome.
Straight out of the closet.
Right.
Or
Yes.
similar.
Or
And
similar,
Rich, yeah. You wanting to have a setup at your home where you can be more professional with your clients and do more of your production there. And then that ties really nicely with Rob setting up a separate office where he can have a very similar sort of creative space with all the same gear and that sort of thing. And I think, you know, we're all realizing the value of the skills that we've learned and know the tools that we need to execute with those skills. So it's not all about the stuff. As Louise says, upgrade your skills.
Thanks for hopping into our Creators Pod. If you enjoyed it, we'd love if you would subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review. Tell a friend about it too. Check out the video version on our YouTube channel, Creators Pod. The Creators Pod is produced by C22 Media. Alec Johnson, Keely Dunn, Michelle Lawrence, Rich Graham, Rob Vaules, and me, Dina Taylor. Thanks, y'all.
Am I blurry to you guys?